Welcome to Jump Shots from the Goal Line. I'm Jonathan Dugan, your host. I am joined by Mr. John Henningsen and our recurring guest, Mr. Benjamin Crownover. Welcome, boys, to the show. Welcome to, what is this, week 3 of the NFL, week 4 of college football. Am I right on that, boys? Does that sound about right?
You count week 0?
We are,
yeah. So depending on how you count it, week
it's
0. Very high school.
I've been gambling for 5 weeks at this point, so I feel like it's week 5 for me, but it's different.
Fun concept. The idea of 0 did not come into play until Roman times. So just throwing that out there. So maybe we don't count it. Maybe we just go straight, ancient history and we just don't count week 0. But I think I was correct in all that, right? So big week ahead for football, both college and NFL. But I would be very remiss if I did not talk about the elephant in the room. John, Robert Sarver is no more. He is selling the team. He is no longer going to be a thorn in our side when it comes to the Phoenix Suns. His racist debauchery has cost him the team and has brought us what we've been waiting for 15 years, it seems like. What are your thoughts?
17.
There you go.
17 years. And this reign, hopefully, I just hope it's quick as far as the whole process goes. But I honestly can't believe how happy I was. I was genuinely giddy for parts of my day with just knowing that this he's an asshole. I'm so done with it sucks when your owner sucks. It just does.
Yep.
And when he's a bad owner and it's affecting your team, yes, that's frustrating and annoying. But then when on top of it, I shouldn't phrase it this way because it sounds like I'm undermining the other. The important thing is they got rid of a misogynistic, racist, problematic in general guy.
Yeah.
And so that's good for the league to just be rid of that person. As a Suns fan, I'm very happy to be rid of that person. It probably doesn't fix whatever he's done, but the guy isn't even apologetic about it. And
No.
Honestly, if he was even apologetic about it or something, this or that, you could have some sympathy, but no, just good riddance by don't let it hit you on the way out. So happy this is over. And then I'm ready to just move on from that and just get into speculation. But certainly if you want to add to anything else there, but the guy's a jerk and thankfully he's gone.
Yeah, just a few things, right? We knew that it was probably going to be coming here soon when you have Chris Paul, your star player, speaking out against you. Number one, that's a big thing. Number two, you just had so many people in the league, whether it's LeBron or if it's the head of the NBA PA or whoever it's been, right, has been just speaking out against the whole 1 year suspension. And so you just knew this was probably going to happen. I know there was a lot of rumors that no matter what was going to happen, Sarver was so stubborn that he was never going to sell the team. But I think he saw the writing on the wall, right? And me personally, I've been a Suns fan my whole life. I've known how crazy he is, but I knew that the writing was on the wall in terms of how long he was going to be an active owner. When the story that came out about Ryan McDonough being the GM of the Phoenix Suns, and in order to get a message across to this GM, Mr. Robert Sarver brought in a few goats into his office and let them shit all over Ryan McDonough's office, trying to send a subliminal message that he wanted him to bring in a goat to the team. I just knew right then and there, Sarver was not long for this world. This is not surprising to me.
I'm just wondering, in my brain, I'm going, is having goats shit over someone's office subliminal? I mean, I guess it is in a way, but it feels very graphic. Feels physical. Yeah, less.
It's the most dominant thing you can do. Just pooping in places, man.
It's true. I know. Believe me. If somebody took a shit in my living room right now, it's their living room. It's not mine anymore. So don't get any ideas, but it's true.
Subliminally, they're telling you it's their living room.
Yes, very much so. All right. But also, like you said, very much physically as well.
Yeah.
But it's just been a wild ride, right? Like you said, 17 years. We had such a great owner before this with Colangelo that really built up he brought the Suns to Phoenix, right? He headlined that franchise. And then to go from him to Sarver, who like penny pinched, who was way too over involved, who then it comes out that his organization is just an HR nightmare. Like it's just embarrassing, right? And Robert Sarver's been embarrassing to Suns fans for a long time. He's been publicly clowned by many, many people in the NBA and in NBA circles and ESPN and what have you. And then when these reports came out that he's also a misogynistic, racist asshole, like it was just, I'm not gonna lie to you, like it was tough to be a Suns fan there for a little bit. The only thing that was our saving grace was that we were actually good on the court finally. But man, a new era is upon us. We are good. We have a good team. That asshole of an owner's gone, never to be seen at the arena again. And we have a laundry list of interested buyers that are very intriguing. I sent them over to you earlier, Henny. What were your thoughts on some of those owners, potential owners?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different names today floated. The ones that were like interesting, obviously, like Jeff Bezos is a huge, like we all know, like one, he's a workout guy now, so
Maybe a robot.
kind of fits his new brand of being, a strength and conditioning billionaire.
Also an astronaut.
Yeah, I mean, look, Bezos has a lot of money, and so obviously, like as a fan, you're just like, I just want a guy who like doesn't even bat an eye at like dollars, right?
Because he can't. He's a robot.
Yeah, and then you start thinking about like the other things though, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. We want to be tied to this or whatever. But then there's Iger, and I don't really know a lot about like what he did at Disney, all his connections. Like these are guys that I'll probably start reading about more.
Mm-hmm.
I did see like at some point today, like Phil Knight's name was floated out there. I don't think that's necessarily real, but like I also did see it out there because they're always a name that like these things are rare commodities for them to come out. So you're going to hear about all these people. And then what about their level of interest? I don't know. Maybe Bob or maybe Knight's just using that as some sort of leverage for the Blazers or for Seattle down the road. Maybe it's just something that's floated just because he's a name that's always kind of like flirting with the NBA. Who knows? So, I mean, I would say like Bezos and Knight are probably the two that kind of like jump out at me. But then I know like Iger's been connected in the past. And again, I just don't know a lot about these guys, but I mean, it all sounds better to me on paper. And then, cross your fingers that these are all people that are, able to run an organization that isn't terrible, basically.
Yeah. And I mean, you kind of have to vet it out too, right? Like some of these might be just pure conjecture and just pure, like, just throwing names out, right? Like we see this all the time where, there's going to be 3 or 4 names thrown out there just to hide the one name that's actually like legit, right? I'm a Chelsea football fan, soccer myself. And like there were a lot of people that were rumored to be in the mix to be owner, and then it came out to be like 3 people were really only in the mix the whole time. But like a couple of people that you didn't mention that are interesting to me, there's Laureen Jobs, who is the former wife of Steve Jobs, RIP, right? She's actually a minority owner of the Wizards, so she has that already. That experience. And then there's also Larry Ellison, the former, what do you call it? He started Oracle. Yeah. He started Oracle.
Yeah.
Right. Founder. That was the word I was looking for. I'm sorry. And I believe he's also
in the Matrix or.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I believe he is a minority owner in the Warriors as well. So I think both of those people have expertise when it comes to running a team. But the biggest thing that I can say with every single name that's been thrown out there is that they have a shit ton of money. And that is something that Sarver didn't have. Sarver, I mean, was loaded, right? Like comparatively to like us. But in terms of like ownership, there's a reason why he was such a penny pincher. And it's because he comes from kind of local local money, right? Like his dad started, I think, what was it, Arizona National Bank or something, and like
Yeah, it's a bank of some sort. Yep.
so he was a millionaire, but these people are billionaires. Be with a billion, all right? Like
He only owns 35% too, which is weird, right? That
right.
he has majority ownership. He's controlled it, and that's like not even clear if he would have to just sell his shares, which would still make that person the majority owner, or whether like other people are going to take the out as well. So that's kind of weird too, and still to be determined.
It probably just
What
depends on
percent?
what the total value of the team is, right? I think that's where we'll see it. What were you going to say, Ben?
What percent do you have to own to get to hold the trophy, like on the court?
I think
35% seems like the lowest number.
Yeah.
And obviously they wouldn't let that man hold the trophy. So
we saw
Well,
that 2 years ago.
Yeah, it just seems
Yeah,
to me
yeah.
like once you start getting below that 40%, like I don't even know if you can be on stage during that thing. Something.
I mean, have we considered how much money the Queen left the Corgis? And could they be a player?
Could they be owners? Yeah, damn right. That would be cool. I'd be down for that.
Dog ownership.
And then you know how everybody's doing these advertisements on jerseys? We could just have like the Union Jack just chilling on our uniform. That'd be kind of cool. But also maybe not. Like I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, I was like in until you put the Union Jack on our uniforms, and I like really like reversed field quickly. I was like, no, like, yeah, I was like pivot. Bad idea.
Sounds
I
very
can't even
imperialistic.
I know nothing about anything that you like is going on, but I know exactly what you guys are talking about. Like waiting for an owner to like get out of the way because
Yeah, you're from Pittsburgh.
The Pirates are in like an almost identical situation without. I don't know what the guy was doing, but apparently he was a bad dude. But like I am literally refusing to watch the Pirates until he sells the team. I know that my small contribution to that will be probably put on a plaque in the city, but yeah,
Well, you have a lot of support. That's the good news. Almost no one watches the Pirates, so
It's true.
Exactly.
It's a strong stand by a nation, really.
Yeah.
It's like an embargo.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you leading us though in this charge. I didn't even know who I was following, to be honest. I couldn't see the front of the line, but good to know it was you.
I can tell you that there is a large contingent of Suns fans that felt exactly the same way that you do.
Every sports fan has dealt with this on some level.
Yes.
You know, like a guy like who owns your team that you just like loathe. I mean,
Unless you're in, like, a big market or something like that. And like,
yeah, there's some exception, but it's pretty rare. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but overall, man, like I think there's a lot of Suns fans that feel the same way you do about the Pirates until they got really good like 2 years ago. Then everybody kind of got on board, put up with Sarver, because he did kind of invest a little bit more than he has before into the team, but he was still a giant turd. So it was tough. You know, it's like you're rooting for him, and you like there's times where you want to like him, like where DeAndre Ayton puts his chain on Robert Sarver, and Sarver wants everybody to know he's cool. He's the cool guy. You know, there's like a shred of you that's like, oh, maybe this guy has a shred of humanity. And then you remember that he's Robert Sarver, and like there's no shred of humanity left in his soul. So, yeah.
Don't you just look at that now, though, and think the players probably just thought it was like funny to dress up this idiot?
Yeah, they were
like
straight up clowning. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like they're like, all right, this, yeah, like we're gonna flip the script on this guy and we're gonna make him the asshole. Yeah, so I hope that's the case, anyways.
Yeah, totally. I'm just like I'm happy that like no longer like John, you can speak to this, man. Like there are so many times where like there'd be really good trades available. Like I think even wasn't it the Kyrie Irving now granted, like Kyrie Irving's a giant weirdo now, but at the time of the trade, I believe it was we were going to give the number 4 pick that we used on Josh Jackson, and we are going to get Kyrie. And I think Sarver was the one that was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not trading the number 4 pick. Like, I'm just going to be happy not to see those kinds of like vetoes anymore, hopefully, with a new owner.
Yeah. If the new guy just doesn't sell picks, like that'd be a huge step forward.
Oh my God. Have you ever looked at the list of people that we could have had?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Like,
it's a championship roster that he's just sold away.
It was like, first of all, Marcin Gortat, the Polish Hammer, who was with us for a couple of seasons there when we weren't so good. We initially drafted him.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, he was awesome, Ben.
Yeah,
Look
that
up.
kind of looks awesome too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a cool dude, and yeah, he has a sick name. But we initially drafted him, traded him. Rondo we drafted, traded him. Luol Deng we drafted him, traded him. Nate Robinson, 2-time slam dunk champion at 5'9", drafted him, traded him. Yeah,
One of those championships is a fraud, but that's fine.
no, it's true. I agree with you. That's fine. But nonetheless, he was supposed to be a Phoenix Sun. And because Bob Sarver was too damn cheap to pay anybody, he wasn't. Not only that, but Joe Johnson, ISO Joe, should have been a Phoenix Sun for a lot longer than he was. So I can keep going on and on, but like, I feel kind of bad that Ben's on here, like just probably just sipping on a beer, listening to us talk about something he doesn't care about. But it's a great day.
You're good.
It is
I'm
a
happy for you
great,
guys.
great day to be a Phoenix Suns fan. And I can tell you guys that we all work together. I messaged John when it happened, and I don't think I've ever seen John be so happy over a instant message. It almost brought a tear to my eye. So
Yeah, I was emotional. I'm like, it is such a weight lifted. I can't even explain like how great it is to just like, because it sucks, dude. It's like having like the worst family member or something, that you're just like, yeah, no, yeah, he's related to me. Like we didn't pick him. He got married into the family, but yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, the racist, yeah. The misogynist guy, yeah. The goat, yeah.
He's like
we
the
know
drunk
him.
uncle.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He's the drunk uncle that
yes.
it's like the third husband of your crazy aunt, right? And now that
This
third
one's
uncle,
different. This one's different,
this one's different. But now they're getting divorced and everybody's happy. That's the scenario right now. And
Nice.
it's just great. I think like you said, Ben, like you said, Henny, like we can all relate to this, even if you're not a Suns fan out there. It's a good day. It's a good day. That's all I'm going to say. But with that said, John, do you have any more like closing thoughts on Bob Sarver having to sell the team?
Bye,
Felicia. See you later. All right, cool. Well, let's jump into college football. Right? We have some really good matchups this week, don't we, boys? Like some really good ones. Ben, I know you have a bunch of picks out there. What's got you jacked up for this week specifically? Any matchups that come to the top of your head?
Well, if I don't brag about this again, I'm doing myself a disservice. I'm 80% back-to-back weeks. So when you go that ridiculously proficient level of gambling and you reach kind of that God status, if you will, knock on wood, because I don't want to fucking fall back to earth, you got to basically bet the entire slate. I mean, dude, we're getting some like conference matchups, still a little bit of cross conference matchups. There's just some really interesting ones out there. I mean, like I have 19 picks, but there's honestly, you could bet on every single one of these and probably feel strongly about any of them. Do you guys have a preference on how we dive into this?
Dude,
I just want to jump in real quick and say that I will, because I'm sure, like, even as I'm listening to this, it's like 80% like no. Ben sent us all his freaking picks on a piece of paper last week. Like he mapped it all out for us, had it all. Hey, here's what I'm looking at, and I can go through and put a green check next to damn near all of them. So the man isn't just like I'll just kind of like brag for you a little bit because I'm obviously it's not awkward for you, which is refreshing that it's not awkward for you. But like, yes, he has been killing it. Like he really has been doing a great job. So if you're going to listen to anybody right now, the man is on a heater. We will give our 2 cents, but the guy has been hot.
Ben, do me a favor and send me that sheet of paper again, and we're going to throw it on the Twitter when we release this episode so that the audience knows that you're not full of shit. Like,
I'm gonna have to rewrite this because my handwriting looks like shit. But I will.
No. I want you to keep it as is because what it reminded me of was
my man does it in crayon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he does it in crayon. He's killing the game.
It reminded me so much of what's it called? The freaking show Danny DeVito.
Yeah, it looks like Charlie's
Always
notes
Sunny?
or something.
Yeah, Charlie's notes where he's explaining.
This is my denim chicken. This is my
Yeah, bird law.
Yeah, that's exactly what it reminded me of, because like Ben sends us over just out of nowhere during a college football Saturday, his pick'ems, and it literally looks like a freaking mad scientist notes. It was impressive. So I want you to send that exact picture so the audience can actually see your galaxy brain going. It's okay. It's in the chat. I'll find it.
I might have added some new ones, but I honestly I'm done parlaying this week, because when you hit 80%, but you only go up like 4 units, it's really aggravating, because the 20% you lost were in parlays, and they broke all of them. That was really aggravating for me. But I'm going to do a little experiment and just do straights for this week. Going, I guess, chronologically might make the most sense here. First one I'm looking at is West Virginia versus Virginia Tech. You got to kind of look at what we know about these teams so far. West Virginia gave Pitt a scare. We were all on the Appalachian Accelerator. And then they got beat by Kansas, and we're like, whoa, West Virginia's bad. I don't think they're actually that bad. On the flip side, Virginia Tech, they lost to Old Dominion, and everybody's like, wow, they are really bad. Old Dominion looks amazing this year. This is honestly a pretty interesting matchup for me. I still don't think Virginia Tech is as good as West Virginia. I have a hard time rolling with Virginia Tech after losing to Old Dominion week 1. Still kind of scares me a little bit. I mean, I know they're a good team and like they played them tight, but like, I don't know. Like, there's the line's at 2 or 2.5, depending on what sports book you're on. I'm taking West Virginia minus 2.5. Interestingly enough, Virginia Tech is a plus 108 home dog money line. I'm not taking that because I am thinking West Virginia will win by a field goal, but it is appealing if you wanted to bet either side of this. It's just I think it's a good matchup that nobody is probably going to look at start of the season and be like, yeah, West Virginia, Virginia Tech, that could be a great game. I love this one.
What I will say, right? Like, Virginia Tech's offense has been pretty dog shit like all season, right? And West Virginia, like, that's not their problem. Like, I don't feel like their offense is necessarily their problem. It's their defense kind of sucks. Yeah. Which is surprising to me, by the way, because when we talked to our Josh Neighbors, he was pretty high on some of the defensive line guys on West Virginia. But I don't think Virginia Tech can keep up. So I'm with you for sure on your pick. I don't know about you, Henny.
Just riding with Ben, man. When in doubt, if I don't have a strong opinion, which I don't in this one, I would just defer to the king right now.
When in doubt, 80% it out. 80%.
That Kansas loss doesn't look as bad anymore.
No,
and like
they scored a lot of points in that game too.
They scored a ton of points, and to me, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't think we really know enough. Pitt, obviously, I don't think is as good as the original preseason ranking, but they had their quarterback at that time, so it's like they're a little different. But yeah, I'm taking West Virginia minus 2.5. As long as that line's below, like, it's actually kind of moving towards Virginia Tech as the home team. But I think you can grab that and be pretty comfortable with that one. The next one,
I've watched the line move while we've had this conversation. It's 1.5, 2, 1.5. So people are on the fence.
And it's in Blacksburg, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's at 1.5 and you're thinking about taking Virginia Tech, just take the money line. Because at least you're getting that at a plus.
The one thing I'd say about Virginia Tech is, like, it's Thursday night home game. They're going to have a good crowd.
Oh,
they will.
So yeah. What do they play?
They'll have a good crowd.
They play
Enter Sandman, right? Enter Sandman will be going hard. And honestly, if you just watch them come out of the tunnel, it'd be worth your time.
Yeah. Shout out to both of my cousins. They're both Virginia Tech grads. So I feel terrible taking West Virginia, but your team sucks. So yeah.
I don't know if it sucks, though. I mean, that Old Dominion loss also doesn't look as bad. I don't know. It's funny because you start learning things about teams by the time we get into like the meat of the schedule for most of these situations. But I'm very interested in that game.
By next week, I think we'll have a greater idea of where these teams stand for sure.
Yeah, for sure. The next one I have is I have the over in the Syracuse game. They haven't let me down yet this year. I got it, and then it dropped down pretty dramatically, and I think it's been hovering around 53. But the line's a little too big. Syracuse has won, but they haven't won big. So I'm not going to take Syracuse -9, but I love the overs. I thought that thing was dead last week. And
It was.
it should have been. I mean,
It was, but like I still like knew too because I was very cognizant of that number, and I was like, yeah, but you just can't count it out. It's college football. That second half's going to be like 2.5 hours long. Anything could happen,
and it
did.
Purdue's offense is very good, and it's like it was just there was no reason that over should have been in jeopardy, but that first half was so low scoring. But they haven't let me down yet. Syracuse's quarterback didn't look as sharp passing the ball, but then he was running all over the place. I'm going to take Syracuse over on this one. Until they let me down, I think they're 3 for 3 on covering the over. I'm taking that one for sure.
Can we talk about really quickly the fact that Syracuse has a decent football team? That is so strange to me. Like,
yeah, Kansas is 3-0. Basketball reigns supreme.
Like, is Jim Boeheim coaching this team too? Like, that's what I want to know.
Eating his book,
probably one of his kids
on the team. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure one of his kids coaches the team. I'm sure it's like, yeah, there's got to be some relation. It's a Boeheim running the program. We know it's Babers, and who's actually got U of A connection. So
I was just about to say that. That was like kind of around your era too, right? Like a little bit before.
Yeah, so I actually know who he is, but like it would be safe to assume it's a Boeheim.
Yeah, he's got to have at least one of them on there.
But, yeah, I mean, anything's possible, but.
So you're taking Syracuse
it's a transfer portal.
Is that what you're saying?
What'd you say?
You're taking Syracuse -10?
No, saying over. Just take the over. Just points, baby. Just take points.
Yeah.
Because that's a little big of a line for really our first true gauge of where Syracuse is versus teams in their conference. So I'm kind of I'm not touching that line at 9. It's a little too big. You can see them winning and then kneeling it down or something like that. But yeah, I think that over is until they prove me wrong. I'm going to keep firing on it.
Oh yeah.
Some of these other games are not very exciting, but I have Georgia or Kent State at Georgia. Last time there was a 40+ point favorite. It hit.
That's Bama, right?
It was Michigan against.
Not
Hawaii. Yeah, but I got the line really, really early. It's moved up and now back down a little bit, but I got Georgia -41. I looked, it was at 46. Then I saw in different sports books it was at 44. That might be the craziest line movement I've seen doing.
It's at 45.5 right now.
Yeah, I was.
Don Hayes officiating.
It's I mean it's. It's one of those things like you're not going to get a lot of lines like this, and they should destroy them. Stetson Bennett looks like a Heisman winner. It's not an exciting game, but that's one to watch just because you're not going to get 40-point favorites after like this week, basically. So I'm taking that one. Penn State or Central Michigan at Penn State. Penn State dominated Auburn. I was pretty adamant on the Penn State was going to cover 3.5 last week. And again, this is they're looking really good. They've had 2 games where they've been able to get in their third string quarterback. I'd anticipate they do the same exact thing against Central Michigan, which means they're going to be up big. Penn State's second team is probably better than anybody on Central Michigan's starters. So that line's moved a little bit. I think up to.
Let's talk about that game really quick, though.
Yeah.
Last week. Because I know you want to. I think you're just holding back. Because that was a big win for the program. Like Auburn isn't a marquee SEC team this year. But it's still an SEC team. And y'all wrecked them. Go off real quick.
Dude, you get your third string quarterback in a game on the road in SEC country. It's awesome. Like, there's probably not a better feeling that I can, like, for me, like, I know this is, I'm going to say something stupid. It'll be old takes exposed, whatever. But, like, to me, this felt like Penn State was finally back to where they were pre-COVID when they were, 10-2, 11-1. They're doing the New Year's Six bowls, and they have a chance at the college football playoff. Like, I'm overly optimistic, which is dangerous. And I told you guys when we were doing the Big Ten preview, like, they have a chance against Ohio State because of kind of the way the team's made up. They're consistently doing some crazy stuff on defense. This is actually interesting, but they have given up. I think they are one of the they've given up the most explosive plays on defense of any Power 5 team, but their defense is still really good. And I think they define explosive plays differently depending on if it's a pass or a run play, but their secondary is really good. And it's because they're doing some crazy blitzing. They're putting 7 defensive backs on the field at a time, which, you got nickel, dime, and then it's like, what, dollar package basically at that point? Like, they're just doing some really interesting stuff. They got incredible freshman running back, averaging 11 yards a carry through 3 games. And 330 yards through 3 games. Like, I'm so excited, and I don't want to ramble on and on, but my God, they look good. They look really good.
No, dude, they did, and I think one of the keys of the game that we highlighted last week too was, holding Tank Bigsby to minimal success, and you guys did a really good job of that, right?
Under 40 rushing yards. He did have that one big screenplay, but I mean, they had 6 sacks, like 4 turnovers. They were when the first series Clifford got lit up, I was like, oh no, this is going to be a bad game. And then they stayed calm and they came back and crushed them. I was thrilled watching that game. That was awesome.
Yeah,
you got Harsin fired. I mean, Harsin's already on the list for ASU candidates.
I love being the coach. If you could be the team that's the killer. The Steelers were this for the Browns for a long time, and it's like, I don't know about Penn State ever really being a coach killer, but I mean, Georgia Southern killed Scott Frost, like, sanctions killed Herm Edwards. Like, if Penn State kills Auburn's coach, I'm all for it. I know.
Sanctions didn't kill Herm Edwards, bro. Herm Edwards killed Herm Edwards.
It might have been the devil. I don't know if you know about that.
By the way, Eastern Michigan with the ultimate troll after that game, putting out a meme that says you play to win the game, and they ended up getting homeboy fired on the field. Holy shit, that had me so pumped. I don't even know where Eastern Michigan is, like in Eastern Michigan. Yeah, I killed your joke before you made it, asshole. Anyway, like, for them to come into Tempe and get Herm fired and then just to have the audacity to put that on Twitter, bravo. Like, holy hell, that was great. So
Mac rolls hard, baby. Mac rolls hard.
Yeah, some action, bro. It was sick. It was so cool. I will say this though, Henny, you jokingly said Harsin is on the big board for ASU. That low key would be probably a good hire for them. Just before we go any bit further, I think Harsin just sucks at Auburn because Auburn is a hellhole, and it's like impossible to coach there. He has a lot of connections on the West Coast.
Paul. He doesn't get the SEC, Paul. That's all it is. It's like that. It's that whole thing. Like,
yeah.
Paul, he doesn't understand SEC. It means more down here, Paul. Brian doesn't understand.
Yes, and I completely agree with you. I think Brian Harsin's a good coach. Like, and I think both of the people we brought on for our conference preview would agree to that. He's a good coach. I think Auburn is just such a dude. It's like the UCLA of the SEC. Like, they think they're so much better than they are, and because of
you gotta stop comparing Auburn to any. Auburn is Auburn.
Yeah,
that is who.
Dude, you're
Auburn
so right.
is.
It's just
like you're like, is it like this? I'm like Auburn's just like their own, dude. Like they've poisoned, they're wild. They're just absolutely insane, and
yes,
they'll win a national championship in 3 years after we
trash.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but dude, if Harsin goes to ASU, that would be a low key really fire pick. With that said, my money's on Kenny Dillingham, the offensive coordinator for Oregon. So I'm just putting that out there on the airwaves. Kenny Dillingham to ASU. All right, go ahead, Ben.
No, you're good. If I spend any more time talking about Penn State, it'll be a 3-hour long podcast. The next one I have that's kind of interesting is Baylor at Iowa State. You got Baylor as moneyline dogs on the road. They're a +2.5 against the spread. Like, I know that they haven't necessarily impressed yet this year, but I wasn't super impressed by Iowa State. I know they beat Iowa. Ooh, like 10-7.
10 points. They slapped 10 points on them, boy.
Yeah. So, like, to me, I'm like, I don't know. I'm taking the good team there. I probably should take the money line on that one, but some goofy shit can happen when you play, and it could be a 7-6 game. I'd rather have the points. But I'm not really like crazy about that one, but it's just an interesting matchup. Getting into I think probably a very interesting one on the ACC side of things. You have Clemson at Wake Forest. Wake Forest is a money line dog at plus 210. I don't. Let me see.
Dude, I'm taking Wake Forest all day.
No.
Bro.
See, Wake Forest has screwed me so many times. They don't cover. They drive me nuts. I am not taking Wake Forest on the points. I am taking the under. I'm trying to find where I have this written down on my sheet, on my denim chicken notebook. All right, Clemson under 55.5.
Now you're doing this because you don't believe in DJ, right?
Yeah, and it's, getting into conference play, people are usually a little bit tighter. Scores get a little bit closer.
Sam Hartman's that dude, though. He's good.
I mean, yeah, but he doesn't cover. So I'm gonna assume that this is a low scoring one, and ride the under. I don't know where it's at now. I didn't look at that one, but Clemson's got a good defense, and it's funny because sometimes the picks that don't necessarily, you're like, oh, this is a pick I feel great on, are the ones that hit. I looked at the number and I was like, I should take the under, and so I'm running with that one.
Okay, I could see that. It's just, dude.
I like Clemson's defense.
Yeah,
and Tim Duncan's not a power forward; he's a center. That's my strongest Wake Forest opinion.
Yeah, Chris Paul is also one of the greatest players to come out of Wake Forest. And now he's my point guard for the team that now the owner's selling. So now I feel like I have to go Wake Forest plus 7.5. So
or
that's my
Wake money line at plus 200.
I do like the under, though. I do kind of like the under just because I think Clemson's defense is still mean, and regardless of what Hartman's bringing, and if you have questions about Clemson's offense still, then I could see this being low scoring.
Ben, I don't have the huevos to take Wake Forest money line. I just think they don't lose.
Well, it's a home dog. I'm more so. I think most of these that I wrote down to highlight are just home dogs that I think are juicy. At plus 200 is kind of where I'm usually going to draw the line, but plus 210. I mean, I don't really know much. You can't even watch ACC games, dude. The ACC network is the only conference network that you can never find on anywhere unless you go to a
false Pac-12 network.
Well, doesn't even exist. You don't even know that it doesn't exist.
So I had to literally refresh my just the app and watch the thing live last week and watch Wake Forest blow it for me. So anyway, ACC network sucks.
Hey, get this though. Did you know that the ACC and the Pac-12 were in talks to do a partnership so that the Pac-12 could utilize the media powers of the ACC? Yeah,
they have got to stop. Yeah. None of these things have done any. What have they learned? Why have they learned nothing?
Yeah, Big Ten comes in and raids.
Stop meeting in the alley, you weirdos. Just freaking do something.
The Big Ten and the SEC are literally just making every other conference act like a chicken with its head cut off. It's hilarious.
They're betraying them like Game of Thrones. It's amazing. The Alliance 2.0 will probably fail as well. But
this feels like Star Wars.
it does.
It's crushing. You're so right, Ben. It's just I can't believe how stupid they are.
I'm really excited about this game, and I never would have been. But we got a basketball showdown on the gridiron with Duke at Kansas.
Dude, hell
Kansas is a good team.
Is this the Maui Invitational?
It's the Maui Invitational of football, and we get the rare ACC Big 12 matchup here. The lines moved a tiny bit. It was originally Kansas minus 8.5. It's gone to 7.5. The over under at 66 is kind of appealing, but I don't really know if I can trust Duke to add enough points on top of this, I'm taking Kansas against the spread on this one.
Hey, Henny, how many recruiting violations do you think will take part at this game from the basketball side of things?
Oh, from the basket, yeah. I don't know. I think Bill Self is still on self-imposed sanctions and is still drinking Coronas on the beach. So I think Kansas will remain clean. Coach K might be up to stuff in his office. Coach K.
Coach K might come out of retirement to coach the football.
Yeah, he'll probably just walk around and hand out $100 bills or whatever he does. But
Coach K's the monopoly.
Self is on self-imposed sanctions for the time being. I can't believe this is like an actual football game that people like. I would say like this would be fun to watch. Like I can't believe it. Yeah, but I mean, hey, they've been playing good. Respect on those programs,
dude. Kansas's running back is freaking good. By the way, like holy shit, like. The fact that Kansas is putting up like what did we see it the other day? It was like 55 points a game or something.
Yeah, and like
what the hell?
I mean,
you remember Mangiano, like the guy who looked like the Citrus Bowl mascot, and then they got to the
they were like
the Orange Bowl. I don't remember. Like they've been like Kansas was good one time before.
They had like one season.
When they're going to be was there.
They might be undefeated, dude, honestly, running into the Oklahoma game. Like, they're a good team, and it makes no sense. But, man, hey, new coach, and they're just doing some big things.
I hope you both know that Lance Leipold is definitely going right to Nebraska after this season, and he's going to suck there.
Why go there? You know, we've bashed Nebraska for, like, 4 straight shows. But
it's not enough.
You can't get it. It's never enough. It's never enough. Dance on that grave. Anything else you guys want to say on the Duke Kansas game? I got so many great games that are like worth talking about, but
I think Kansas is going to smack the hell out of Duke because I think
so too.
I think I'm kind of getting on the Ben Crownover train of ACC overrated chance, and I don't think Duke ain't all that. They're gonna get stomped on by Kansas, which is just so damn awkward to say. It just feels wrong coming out of my mouth, but here we are. So I'm definitely gonna take your advice, Ben, and we'll go. You said the over, right? Or no? Which one did you say?
I'm taking the spread. I'm taking Kansas with the spread on that one.
Perfect. That's even better. That's what I'm gonna go with then.
We get into a very, very, very interesting matchup in the Big Ten next with Maryland at Michigan. Maryland barely survived against a very good SMU team last week. Michigan's played nobody. This spread is huge, though. This spread is at 17. I didn't touch this one because I legitimately don't know what to think. I can see Talia Tagovailoa throw 5 interceptions. I could see him cover. I could see Michigan and Maryland score 20 combined points. I don't know what to do on this one, but it's a very interesting game worth watching. I'm not betting it, but it's crazy. Like that spread is huge, and we don't know anything about Michigan because they played nobody.
This is what I'm going to tell you, Ben. A Tagovailoa just whomped on a Harbaugh brother just a few days ago.
This is smooth gambler's brain coming in.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
And where did that game take place? Where did that game take place? It took place in Maryland. So all of that Tagovailoa energy, it's still in Maryland. Now the game is being played in Michigan.
Yeah, I was like, your brain's getting smoother.
Stay with me here, boys. All right, come on, let the gambler's brain work. All right, it was in Maryland, and his brother was there to receive it, and now he's taking it to Michigan, and he's going to take it to another Harbaugh brother. I'm not saying they're going to win, but 16.5 is a shit ton of points, and this is the exact kind of game that Talia Tagovailoa usually comes and plays pretty well for, right? And it's usually one of the few games that Maryland and Mike Locksley looks somewhat like a program on kind of the rise. So I would take the spread with Maryland. That's what I would do.
They did just beat a very good SMU team, but I can't trust them. I don't know.
It's in the stars, Ben.
I need to see more. We haven't seen Michigan play anybody. We've been talking about it. I think they might be sneaky good, and I'm just not sure yet.
They
And
could
this
win
game
by
will probably,
5. They could,
yeah, like
they could win by 7.
yeah, I kind of have like a Michigan lean, but I don't trust it either. So
You
It's
guys
just a
aren't
huge spread. Yeah, I don't know.
you guys aren't seeing the stars aligning like I am. That's all.
You're the one who's
That or I just
hitting
might be jaded
100%.
from I might just be jaded from Tagovailoa. So
Yeah, I get it. When a guy
yeah,
bets a whole
you
slate and he doesn't touch a game, usually there's a reason for it. All right, real quick, SMU is a home dog against TCU. It's a 2.5 spread. I have SMU money line as one of my picks.
yes,
They're a very, very, very good team. Very, very good team. The over-under is at an egregiously high number at 70.5. You could
I don't
take
think
the
TCU
under.
can score that much.
I mean, that number is so damn high. Like normally I see something in like the 70s. I'm like under. But honestly, they covered that last week with Maryland. So I love the home dog on this one, SMU, and they look good. Transfer portal QBs, all that stuff. It's what's really making college football interesting. But I don't know how much more there is to say about it because I'm probably one of the only people in the country who watched the SMU Maryland game with like
I watched
a
it.
ton of excitement. I know you had Maryland last week on that one, Dugan. Good pick, but
Yeah,
it's just an interesting. Give me the money line dog. Coming off a loss, they're hungry.
I completely agree with you for two things. This is the Sonny Dykes Bowl, and Sonny Dykes left SMU to go to TCU. And when we asked Josh Neighbors if he thought TCU was going to be good, what did he say?
said hell no.
He said, hell
Basically.
no. He said he's not a believer in
He said
TCU.
no. Yes, and SMU has good uniforms, and that alone is enough to ride.
If they wear the helmets that say Dallas on them or the uniforms that say Dallas on them, Henny's completely bought in, guys. Let me tell you, because he is the biggest fan of Dallas, Texas you will ever meet in your lifetime.
Are teams not tweeting out their uniforms as much? I feel like I'm not getting enough uniform porn from college football this year. Am I just not following the right accounts?
Those SMU
What have I
ones
done
are
wrong?
dope, too.
They save
because if you're wearing the Dallas ones, if you're wearing the Dallas ones, then like I'm betting SMU for sure. Like then it's like no questions asked.
Yep.
I never thought I'd be at the point in my life where I'm betting money on Southern Methodist University, but here I am.
You didn't watch the Pony Express, did you?
I've only been gambling really heavily for like a year and a half, and it's just to watch myself devolve to this point is depressing and exciting at the same time. Anyway, we got some other good matchups. I know we want to talk about some other stuff too, but Florida at Tennessee, it's a 10.5 point spread over under 62.5. I didn't touch this one. I would be a Tennessee lean because I was kind of bullish against Florida, but it is a very, very interesting matchup. I think Florida lost by about 10 to Kentucky. Kentucky is better than Tennessee, in my opinion.
No.
I think so, man. I honestly...
No way, dude. Tennessee looks awesome. Hendon Hooker looks so good.
I like Tennessee in it. It's just a ton of points.
10.5?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't.
If it was 9.5, I'm probably taking it. 10.5, I'm not. You could probably tease it.
What's been the record the last couple of years? Hasn't Tennessee been kind of smacking Florida the last couple of years? I think so.
I doubt it. I don't know for sure. I honestly don't. But I mean, yeah, Florida's been down, so like you would think. But I feel like that's just one of those games. Like that's one. Tennessee's crowd is going to be up for this one, and so that goes one of two ways. Either they play tight because it's a big game, and Florida does stick around, or Hendon Hooker goes off and they run away, and they're never. Florida's never able to recover.
Holy shit! I was wrong. Florida's won 5 in a row.
Yeah, that sounds more accurate.
Wow. Hey, you know what? We're just learning things on the pod.
We're learning together. Yeah, but Florida it seems like they always own Tennessee. Hey, it's like, right, you can't spell citrus without UT, and everything that Spurrier has ever said, the ghost of Spurrier said 20, 25 years ago, the visor, all of it
Holy
has like continued to hold true, and they continue to haunt Tennessee.
boys, I was so wrong. So they've won 5 in a row. They won once in Tennessee won once in 2016. They hadn't won since 2004 before that. Holy shit. Yeah, let's
Tennessee's
go
been
let's go
down.
Florida money line.
So you're betting on history of players who are no longer on the team, dude. This is smooth brain 2.0.
Bro, I'm just looking at history, and Anthony Richardson sucked the last 2 weeks. This is the kind of game that
So he's going to fix it now, right?
he might. He looked great against Utah.
Pac-12 versus SEC. A lot of people.
I know, dude. I get it, but holy hell, y'all have totally flipped me with the history. That is shocking.
That is
Definitely
so
a game I'll be watching.
I'll watch it. I'm not betting it.
I know
I'm not betting it.
It's completely
That's where I'm
illogical. This is going to be this is an imaginary bet for me. I'm with you guys. I don't really want to touch this because it's just it's way too high profile. Number one, and
Dude,
number two,
thinking about what his wife would say if he bet it and then lost, and that's exactly he just went from
guys.
To, oh wait, no.
I think about every time what my wife would say because she's the type of person that literally will make it seem like betting two heavy favorites is a good thing because you're going to make money. Every bet I make is wrong in her eyes. This one I would definitely get wrong. Oh man,
I'll do a TED talk for her on why there's no point in doing money line favorites in college.
Good luck. I tried talking to her for 30 minutes on it, and she just told me, "Well, he made money, didn't he?" Yeah, he makes money, and then he throws it on Facebook and shows everybody how he bet two -500 fucking favorites. And, oh my god, he made $20. Good job.
I'm so glad I swayed you on that. All right,
it's here real quick though.
Go ahead.
Just in case this person is listening, it's not the fact that you bet heavy favorites; it's the fact you put it on Facebook or social media and you gloat about it. Just stop. You're a cornball. I hope you know who you are. I'm not going to say your name, but good God, stop it. Okay, go on.
You're good. You're good. We have some really good games later in the day with Minnesota at Michigan State. I think this line, Michigan State is a home dog to Minnesota.
Who looks awesome, by the way.
Minnesota looks very good, but they also haven't really played anybody. Minnesota looks really, really good. I'm taking the over in this game. I am not touching the spread, but Michigan State money line as a home dog is very appealing. It's a 3-point spread. I could see this to me is like everybody hammers Minnesota because they see the favorite, and it's Michigan State just got beat by a good Washington team that I was completely wrong on last week. They did make it a close game in garbage time, but the over on this one seems like the smart play.
Yeah, 51's not a lot of points.
No. Especially with Minnesota's offense. Michigan State was able to come back in that game. Like, they had some life in them. They just didn't have any life when it mattered in the first half. Right. That one killed me last week. But we have a Notre Dame at UNC. It's a 2-point spread. I think Notre Dame is very, very bad because they don't have a running game and they're on their second string quarterback. But UNC has no
defense.
No defense. I'm taking the over in this one just based off of it's kind of like the Syracuse overs. I'll keep taking UNC overs. I know they killed me week 2 because I was like, oh, they're horrible. So there's a really damn close miss on that one. And it's about 6 points lower than it was in week 2. So I'm taking UNC over 56 in that one.
Nice.
It doesn't make logical sense to me because I'm literally saying how bad Notre Dame's offense is. But
we're talking about a North Carolina team that let Florida A&M put like 30 points on them.
Yeah. So like I would hope Notre Dame can score. I know UNC will score as well in theory. So liking that one. I don't have anything on it, but Texas at Texas Tech. Big game. I don't have any strong opinions either way. It's a 7-point spread. It's probably going to, be 35-28 or something like that, but I don't really feel crazy about it. I'm not betting on it, but it's very interesting to me. Any thoughts on that one? I don't care about Texas unless they're playing in the Red River rivalry typically.
I think Texas
I kind of like
is
Texas,
an interesting play. Go ahead.
I think Texas is interesting just because, look, they struggled last week. It seems like they kind of had the hangover from the Alabama game, but they kind of got right and finished the job. So Texas might be a little undervalued there, but they got to go on the road, and Texas Tech's been solid too. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just think Texas kind of got through their little hangover, and they proved they can play with Alabama. So I don't see why they can't beat Texas Tech by 7 if they have their
a good
pads
defense.
on, right?
They have a really good defense, and I could see them winning and covering, but I don't feel strongly enough about it to put money down on it.
Yeah. No, Texas Tech's an interesting play for sure. I feel like Texas only plays good in big games, so
it's definitely true. The we aren't really sure what we know game of the week, I would say, is Oregon at Washington State. Was BYU bad? Was Washington State that good? Washington State put a beat down on Wisconsin 2 weeks ago. Like, it's a 7-point spread. I don't have any picks on it because I don't know enough. Bo Nix looked great last week.
God, sure did. Got me that over.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm inclined to say Washington State covers, but I'm not putting money on it, so don't take that as like an official Bible pick for me.
Hey, don't stop looking now, but the Pac-12 North is sneaky nice this year. Like,
they've had it.
Washington looks good. Washington State looks good. Oregon looks good. Oregon State beat Boise State. Like, the Pac-12 North looks pretty damn good right now. Cal hung in there with Notre Dame.
Well, that might not say as much as we think.
Right, but even then, like, Cal is typically, John, you can concur, like, Cal's not anything to write home about usually. The fact that they hung with Notre Dame in any year is, like, that's good for them. So,
yeah.
Pac-12 actually has not looked bad, boys. Has not looked bad.
They should get an alliance going or something.
They should, yeah. Maybe they should, like,
they're hot.
Maybe they should, like, take some other conferences teams. Who knows? Maybe they should have done that a year ago, but they didn't. And now they can't. So, no, but Pac-12 looks sneaky good outside of, like, ASU and, like, Stanford. Every other team looks pretty damn good. Arizona's 2-1. And I would have never guessed that at the beginning of the year. They've already pushed on the Vegas odds. So they have to win one more game and everybody cashes in that bet. So it's interesting.
So excited on that one. That was the easiest bet of my life.
Easiest.
It sucks it was at like a -140, but whatever. Nobody else is going to bet this but me. I actually have 2 picks in on the Old Dominion Arkansas State game. I have Old Dominion -3.5 and Old Dominion over 56.5. I don't.
You're just so bought in.
I am 100% bought in on Old Dominion. They just keep fucking covering and winning, and they almost pulled it out last week, and then they go down, they score on them, but they covered. It's like they're cover machines, dude. Give me the cover machines at home against Arkansas State. Again, another what is wrong with my life moment on that pick, but
once a monarch, forever a monarch. What are you gonna do?
Rain on, baby, rain on. The fact I know their fucking like slogan is depressing. A really big game.
That's like me and John with Coastal.
Yeah. Arkansas at Texas A&M. 2.5-point spread over under is at 48.5. That over is very, very appealing. But
hey, all I can say about that game is sweet. Let's go Arkansas. That's what I'm saying, bro. Give me the points.
This was a hard one for me because I love Arkansas, and I've been riding with them for most of the year. But Texas A&M has a ton of talent on that roster.
And they actually looked okay
Yes,
last.
they do. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're tough.
they looked good against Miami, who looked really good prior to that game. Like, I'm taking A&M against the spread. Sorry, I'm not in your foxhole, dude, but
It's
that's a
okay.
very, very, very good game. That's going to be a great one to watch.
I'm just riding the KJ Jefferson train at the end of the day. He's electric. So
Love KJ.
yeah,
Love watching KJ. That's just another good game to watch for sure. A lot of talent on that field. And yeah, to me, it's coin toss, but the over seems like the most fun bet. That's for sure.
Yeah, the 48.5 on that, you're not upset, and you're just rooting for points.
Sneaky good game this weekend that Ben might not know about, but I have some dirt on. Is USC at Oregon State.
I have USC on that one.
Yeah, you have them. What? Just at
against the spread. Yeah, against the spread.
Just a quick tip there, bud. Oregon State is like undefeated at home for like the last year. So
that's fine. They haven't played Caleb Williams before.
Yeah, well, Caleb Williams hasn't played Oregon State at Reser Stadium. All right, he has not played in Corvallis. So
they don't.
What do you know about potato
salad? What do you know about potato salad? Is that what you said, Annie?
Yeah, that's right. Chris Saul, you're out there. I know you're thinking about it right now.
Yeah, Chris Saul, you're in our thoughts and prayers. That's all we got to say. But yeah, it's funny that you're taking them against the spread because I'm actually taking Oregon State plus 6.5. I think they keep it close, if not win.
It's hard for me to bet against Caleb Williams, dude. He is so damn good. And USC's been a cover machine this year, dude. They beat a good Fresno team. They've covered on pretty much every single bet. Because people don't know about their defense. That's the big question mark, right? But, if I'm getting a team that talented at the quarterback position to win by a touchdown, I'm going to take that. I get where you're coming from. But
they had guys flying open all over Caleb wasn't even great, honestly, against Fresno. He was missing receipt, and I don't mean he was throwing inaccurately. He had guys wide open and was making the harder throw, and they would still score. They're scary. They're going to score a lot of points, and so it's really hard for me to pick against USC. And I see a line move down to 5.5, which means you don't even got to need that extra point. That pesky little kicker doesn't even get involved. USC is going to score points, man. I mean, Oregon State might be tough at home, but I like SC.
Yeah,
I do too. He disagrees with us, but he's wrong. So
we'll see. We'll see, Mr. 80%. We'll see.
All right, you ready for the real barn burner of the weekend? The game everybody has circled. Iowa at Rutgers. Over/under is at 34 fucking points.
Too high. Once again, too high.
We were talking about a team that, in fact, scored 7 points and didn't score a touchdown. So
that game last week that was delayed for 12 hours, I literally was so mad because I'm waiting. I'm refreshing. This is still in fucking lightning delay.
Yeah.
And the under did hit.
It's so deep in my YouTube TV too. I had to fish. I was like, Captain, take the boat out further. I need deeper water. I was so deep in YouTube TV to find that game, but damn it, I was going to watch them and make sure they didn't score.
That was 34 is absurd.
Rutgers won without scoring an offensive touchdown last week as well. They won, but they also did not score. So
yeah, I'm on Rutgers plus 7.5 on this one, boys, because if it's a 2-3 game, that covers. And it's going to be ugly, but man, Jesus, that line. I'm going to keep shouting out Iowa unders because that is ridiculous. Believe it or not, there's only a few games left, and I apologize for the lengthy overview on this, but you got Wisconsin at Ohio State. The line's kind of bouncing around somewhere between 17, 18. Just depends on where you look at it. Ohio State, I think, is going to beat the brakes off of Wisconsin. They should, at least. So this is Ohio State starting to dominate the conference. I'm going to take Ohio State at home to cover the spread.
Doesn't Wisconsin play Ohio State pretty tough usually, though?
Yeah, when they have TJ Watt and a bunch of like amazing players, they do. And I've been bit by lines like this for Ohio State earlier in the year in week 1, but yeah, you have healthy receivers now for Ohio State when you didn't have them early on in the year when they didn't cover against Notre Dame. Like, they have a good defense. Wisconsin has a good defense too, but Ohio State has an offense and Wisconsin doesn't.
Okay.
That's kind of my thought process on that one.
Tough to keep up, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Then I start getting into some Pac-12 territory. We already talked about USC at Oregon State, but Stanford at Washington. I don't have money on it, but I'm interested because I think Michael Penix. I think I looked at it was like 9.5. I might be completely wrong on that one. Stanford, not. I don't think it's going to have a chance against Washington. That's probably a Washington pick if I was to take one. And then following in the veins of what we did with Nebraska, I am taking Utah to beat the brakes off of ASU, reeling after losing their leader. Utah minus 14.5.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
That interim coach, though, I mean, that guy.
It's a gamble.
I can't believe he's out there talking. He's out there talking. He's like, I'm going to go recruit. But dude, he's talking about recruiting in state as his like big sell to win this job after he gets shellacked through the rest of the Pac-12 schedule. My man's never even landed a kid from Chandler the whole time he's been there. What is he talking about?
Yeah. Dude, that dude was literally coaching high school football like 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. I like anybody against Arizona State pretty much moving forward.
Yeah.
You hope that the interim head coach doesn't like actually inspire them. And
he won't.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that they would. So that one I like. And I have one more pick and then two more picks for the last 2 games we didn't talk about. I have Oklahoma over 52.5. And then I have UConn plus 39.5 against NC State. I haven't been impressed by NC State. UConn got crushed by Michigan, but damn it, 39.5 points against a team I was not impressed with. It almost lost to Eastern Carolina. I love that. And then story time for you guys. When my gambling slipped last year, it was because Oklahoma didn't cover a 10.5 point spread against Kansas State. I'm not taking the bait. I'm not falling for it. I'm just doing the over 52.5. And that's college football. Sorry.
That is college football.
No, don't apologize. Love it.
Perfect. Well, let's jump into the NFL then, right? We'll finish off the show with the NFL. We have a big game tomorrow night, or by the time this drops, tonight. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers, near and dear to Ben's heart, at Cleveland on the lake without TJ Watt, with Mitch Trubisky at the helm. What I'm looking at is that is always a very, very competitive game, no matter what. The Browns are starting, like Ben likes to say, Jacob Brisket. And they haven't looked incredibly appealing. They lost to the Jets last week. I'm going to take...
Really?
They sure...
What happened?
You didn't hear about it? Weird, right?
I was like, I turned that game off. What happened?
Joe Flacco went elite. That's what happened, right? That's all I'm going to leave it at that. But anyway, I don't know if I'm man enough to take Steelers money line at plus 165 because they are missing TJ Watt, who's an incredible player, a game wrecker, and a huge part of that defense. But what I will do is take the spread of plus 4.5 because those games are always incredibly close, and the Browns suck. So what do you think, Ben?
Incredibly loud and dangerously close. I imagine you don't watch as much like midweek coverage of the Steelers as I do.
I would imagine so.
They were roasting the offense. Like the rookie receiver Pickens from Georgia is like, yeah, we're not really trying anything. And like Fryermuth was saying the same thing. Like, we should do hurry up more. And like they were roasting the crap out of it. If Matt Canada wants to keep his job beyond this week, they should try something different. And I don't think that they will. I am rapidly descending into the black hole of despair about the Steelers. I'm one of the most negative Steelers fans in the world because it's like, how do you go with Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown and win nothing? And this team is at least 12-mile gap from where that team was in terms of talent. They got beat by Belichick last week. I know Belichick's game plan was to run the ball like crazy on him, and they can definitely do that with Nick Chubb. I would love to say Steelers plus 4.5, man. This is one of those games I'm just going to be so depressed, and like I'm going to be okay with my kids being like, Daddy, I want to watch Spider-Man, or Daddy, I want to watch like PJ Masks, instead of like watching this on the big TV. I'll watch this on my phone as they like run around me and just be so angry. I think they lose. I don't know if they cover. I think they lose, dude. Oh God, what's wrong with this team?
You convinced me they're gonna come out and run Wildcat now.
Yeah.
Like that. That sounds like as soon as the offensive coordinator, like everybody's like, "Come on, do something," and the guy has like no tricks. He's like, "I know what to do."
Yeah, Mason
Wildcat.
Rudolph running Wildcat. It's going to be electric.
They're gonna bring Cordell Stewart out of retirement, bro. It's gonna be sick.
I'm so depressed.
Were you at home chanting for Kenny Pickett? I know the fans were.
No, big hands Kenny. He's gonna get killed, dude. Like,
Your offensive line is so bad.
They'll start him after the bye week, but you pay Mitch Trubisky $4 million to basically get his ass kicked for 8 weeks, and then you slap somebody else in there, and maybe it's Mason Rudolph. Maybe that's what we try different. Maybe we fire our offensive coordinator. Maybe that's what we do different.
Maybe the Browns are good, or maybe they lose to the Jets.
Who knows? Maybe the Ravens give up a 21-point lead with 12 minutes left. Oh, sorry. Did that
Save it?
Did that come out?
Save it.
That Mason Rudolph might actually play the majority of this game if Trubisky looks bad after a few series. Not Kenny Pickett, because they don't want to throw him into the fire just yet. I wonder if I can get a rushing over on Mason Rudolph as like a just in case.
It won't be there. Dude.
It won't. But God, man, this game is going to be brutal to watch. Everybody's going to be like, "Oh, this is the classic Thursday night football game that sucks, but we watch it because it's football."
For sure, watching it. Hell yeah.
Might as well be Jacksonville 10 years ago versus like, I don't know, another horrible team.
First half under, just like first half under this game. Like no one scores to start, and then maybe later.
Oh yeah, dude, those have been hitting too. JT at work, he plays those like every game, like every primetime game. First half under.
It's supposed to be our secret though. So sorry, bud.
Secret's out. Sorry, big guy. But yeah, those have been like hitting like crazy.
And 10 through. Oh, like full game unders I think are 22 and 10 through weeks 1 and 2. So even the full game under looks pretty juicy. I mean, maybe you double up. Like this game could be bad.
First half unders at 19.
Totally. 10-3.
7,
super manageable.
7-6.
7 to 10.
Yeah.
I mean,
just 2 zeros.
Also possible. Game to end in a tie.
Just alternate. Yeah. Just alternate under at 0. Just go for it. See what the odds are. Run it.
Man. All right.
Get us off this game. We're all feeling sad.
Yeah, I actually feel like legitimately depressed now. Thanks, Ben. God,
you're welcome. Hey, welcome to my misery. Like, I am so negative when the Steelers are bad. I'm so negative.
All right. Well, speaking of negativity and disappointment, let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens at the New England Patriots. We're talking about a team that, for all intents and purposes, looked incredible for 3 quarters. Lamar Jackson was unstoppable for the entire game. The defense looked great in the first half, and then both of their corners went out. And guess what happened? Tua Tagovailoa went insane. And it was pretty comical because I literally had my co-host here, John Henningsen, texting me the whole first half like, man, you picked this Dolphins team to beat the Ravens? this Tua to beat the Ravens. And then I ultimately got an apology text by the end of the game because my team let me down so bad. Just like the pallbearers of the Queen of England. They let me down. But this week.
Yeah, sometimes you got to double tap that chest and say, my bad.
Well, you did that, bro. Good job. But this week, the Ravens are going up to Foxborough, and I think they're going to just blow the brakes off the Patriots because, number one, Mac Jones sucks. All right, Mac Jones is not good. The Patriots, yeah, they can run the ball a little bit, but they don't have a marquee running back. Their defense is okay. They got Matt Judon. But Lamar Jackson's out for blood because he wants a new contract. He wants a fully guaranteed contract like his good friend Deshaun Watson up in Cleveland. I actually don't know if they're good friends. I hope they're not. But anyway, he's trying to prove to the world that he deserves a guaranteed contract. I'm in full belief that unless something changes in the NFL where like salary caps get wildly increased or, different things happen, fully guaranteed contracts are a terrible idea. And especially for a mobile quarterback, where if you do a fully guaranteed deal where it's like $50 million a year, fully guaranteed, the guy tears his ACL, his PCL, whatever, knock on wood, like that could destroy a team. And that's my hesitation with giving Lamar a fully guaranteed contract. But before Henny jumps on, all over me about this, Lamar Jackson does deserve it. Unanimous MVP is the only reason why they were even in the game last week. It's the only reason that they've been in any game. If you look at their record last year, they were like 8-3 with him and then didn't win a single game without him once he got hurt. So if there's a quarterback out there that deserves a fully guaranteed contract that is up for an extension, it is most certainly Lamar Jackson. And if they gave it to him, I would be extremely happy. I just don't know if it's a smart business move. And the owner of the Ravens, Steve Bisciotti, has gone on record saying that he will not do it. So we'll see what happens. But I'm taking the Ravens -3. Anyway, go ahead, Henny.
No, and I like the Ravens in this game. I mean, but I had no problem with the Ravens last week either. So maybe I'm a fool. I didn't touch it because whatever. But I guess is what I'm just curious about is just, do you think they're going to be at risk of losing him? And is that like worth it? I just don't understand this from this context of this is where quarterback contracts are trending. It's going to be him or the next guy or the next guy or the next guy. All the money's fake anyways.
Yeah.
Even when it's guaranteed. I mean, it's real to the owner, but so what? You're in the business of paying people handsomely to collect your even larger checks. I just don't really get the thought process behind just not getting this done. I just really,
right.
I don't understand it. And I think it's really hard too. And I know you love Lamar, but we love Lamar, but not more than the Ravens. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just would get it done. Like, just give this man his money. And like, he's not going to get any cheaper.
No,
This it's not going anywhere. And if he plays well and carries this team in the playoffs and does it without a defense, then he's just going to show more value. So I can't see how this is getting better for the Ravens. So I'm just kind of confused as to what the thought process is here. And guaranteed contracts they're going to happen, man. It's like the wave. Yeah. That's where we're headed.
I think the thing is the Ravens are very comfortable. Oh, here we go. All right. Here, let me mute Ben real quick. Give me a second here. Here we go. And he's muted. All right. So anyway, here's my thought with this, okay, is the Ravens are very comfortable going how do you say it? The Kirk Cousins avenue of, franchising twice. They have no problem with that at all. And I think the reason that they're going to do this is because they don't want to be the first team that's not the dumbass Cleveland Browns to give a quarterback a fully guaranteed contract. Right? So I think they probably franchise him this year and then come back once somebody else gives a fully guaranteed contract and then maybe they come close to doing it. I think that's literally the only thing holding them back is the simple fact that he wants fully guaranteed. They've tried giving him a huge contract, like massive, and he turned it down. Like he even admitted to that. And it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough,
but it's not like massive. It's not that massive of a contract. Like it's right in line.
Right.
I mean, the offer they gave is like, in line. Honestly, you could argue like a slap to the face compared to what some of these other guys are getting paid. Honestly,
maybe, yeah, for sure. I think he definitely needs to be paid more than like a Kyler, more than like a Russell. Whatever. And
then you're going to franchise the guy you pin your entire organization to. I mean, it just feels like very chicken shit. Honestly, I'm not with the Ravens on this. So I'm vibing with Lamar on this one.
Right. Look, at the end of the day, like I said, if they gave him a fully guaranteed contract, I'd love it. But I don't think they're going to, because the owner flat out said he's not going to. So we'll see.
Well, it's because he's a running back.
Oh, wow. Ben came off mute. What a great guy.
I will not be silenced. I will not go quietly into that good night. Rage against the dying of the light. Anyway, yeah,
Patriots suck.
The moment they give him money, he's gonna blow his knee into 12 pieces.
Oh my God! All right, here we go. All right, Ben's gone.
Well, you can't. It's not. I'm telling you the truth.
All right, he's gone. All right. Anyways, All right. We go to the next game. The Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. With this game, I went just with the over of 52.5. I don't want to touch this game. The Bills have looked like world beaters, like so good. But we saw last week the Dolphins can score in a hurry. They have two of the fastest receivers in the league. So I just think it's going to be a shit ton of points all over the place. I don't want to touch the spread. Just give me the over. What do you guys think?
Two things on the Dolphins. One, I'm so glad Tyreek Hill is no longer an AFC West problem. The guy is an absolute menace.
He's insane.
He's not to be messed with. It's stupid, and I'm so glad he's gone. The second thing is, what is wrong with you people? The way I could care less that I'm not sold on Tua. But I didn't realize this was all left-handed slander the entire time. People flipping him on Twitter. Oh, actually, right-handed, he looks pretty good. I heard a reputable guy talking about, like, well, granted, like one of the throws he got lucky because he was able to go to his left. Like quarterbacks haven't been going to their right my entire life. I'm just trying to take a stand for left-handed people here.
He's not an ambulance.
I'm not like a Tua guy, but like, come on, man! Like just because he's left-handed, we're all going to treat him like he's some sort of freak show. Unbelievable.
Dude, I saw those videos of people flipping.
What is going on?
Flipping it. And he actually did look better. That was the thing. It looked more natural, and it made me laugh so hard because I was like, that's so discrimination. It's so bad.
You guys are wrong. I tell you, when I throw the football, it looks beautiful.
God,
absolutely beautiful.
I've never played catch with you, and I guarantee the day that I do, it's just gonna look weird coming out of your hand.
Perfect. If you mean perfect. I mean, I don't understand. Like every guy, I mean, I grew up playing baseball, this and that. The guys that I know have played minor league. I mean, nothing sweeter than seeing a lefty do anything. But these football idiots just don't know what they got when they got it. I mean, Michael Vick looked great. Tua doesn't look great because he's not Michael Vick, not because he's left-handed.
Well, I agree with you. Do you guys agree with the over though? Is that the play?
I like points.
Yeah. So this is where I start. My gambler's brain is when I start trying to do cute shit, and I would probably take the under just because everything says. But this is how Vegas wins. Like you take all the points because you're like, wow, they just threw up 1 million points. Oh my gosh, and it's like what is the line at?
52.5, dude.
Yeah, fucking close-ass game, dude. I don't know. Bills win, but, like, I'll take the fucking under. I don't know. That's my gambler's brain. I do some dumbass
both teams
shit
are
like this.
Scoring like crazy right now.
Until this game.
All right.
The Bills can't stop scoring. The Bills just scored right now.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just
Josh Allen scoring nonstop. It is ridiculous. They look ridiculous.
Dude.
I don't know if the Dolphins are going to keep scoring on that clip. I mean, I might just take the Bills in this game. I'm not
No.
100% sold on this Dolphins team. Whatever happened on Sunday with the Ravens was a travesty, and Tyreek Hill absolutely is a problem. But I'm going to see it more from Tua than 1 week with some injured corners and trying to figure it out on the fly.
Yeah, here's the thing: we would have won if it wasn't for Marlon Humphrey going out, not playing the whole second half. Marcus Peters being on a freaking snap count because his ACL.
And you guys scored what, 35?
Yeah, Lamar.
In the Bill, and we don't think the Bills aren't going to score 78. I don't know, 112.
Lamar threw for
know.
over 300. Had what do you have? 3 passing TDs. Had over 100 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown. Jesus, what do you think Josh Allen's going to do? So we'll see. Points. That's what I'm going for. All right, next game, Cincinnati Bengals and New York Jets. Bengals suck so far out the gates, boys. Not looking good. Looking like those bodyguards that our boy Burrow got are as good as the bodyguards that were there for JFK. That was definitely one of my favorite jokes I saw over the weekend, so I had to steal it. But good Lord, the Bengals don't look good, right? Burrow's under a lot of pressure. They are going to MetLife. They're playing the Jets, who just came off a huge win against the Browns. And that's why I'm going to take the Bengals, because the Jets are not winners. I don't think they can string 2 wins together. And I think the Bengals are going to be pissed off enough that they're going to come out and beat the brakes off the Jets. So I would definitely take the spread of -5. And I think the Bengals win pretty big. You can even juice that spread up a little bit if you want to try to get some more, because I think they're going to beat the living shit out of the Jets. So what do you guys think?
Burrow's no longer an immobile quarterback.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, it's a tough break.
Yeah, that might be the saddest thing we've heard on the podcast.
I can't. I mean, the line's just. He used to be a 4.5. Now he's just through the roof because that line's so bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
that line is terrible. It's it is unbelievable.
Yeah. Are you guys riding with the Bengals?
I like the Bengals, but they burned me last week in Dallas, and I'm still pissed.
Yeah.
So
that was tough.
They might be in the corner for a minute.
Okay. Yeah, they're in timeout. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we're on to the next game. The Saints at the Panthers. Jameis is going on down to Carolina to play Baker. All right. We got some NFC South action. I just don't see a way that the Panthers win this game unless CMC just goes nuts. Saints didn't look great last week. Jameis threw a lot of picks. I think his LASIK eye surgery went to shit for 1 week. But I think he comes back this week and throws a few tutties against a bad Panthers team. And then I think we see old boy get fired, Matt Rule. And I think he gets interviewed in Tempe in a couple weeks here soon. I think that's my prediction. What are you guys thinking with this game?
I'll miss Matt Rule.
Underish.
Yeah. Beautiful
slob. Underish. I mean, the Saints were struggling, man. And if Jameis's back's broken, that seems like a problem. So then the Panthers can't score. I don't know. It feels like under, if anything. I do like the Saints. I don't see why they can't, win this by a field goal. And at worst, you take a push out of it as they're sitting there at -3. But
what's that? What's that Mike Tyson quote? I broke my back. Spinal. That's what I think of when you just said that Jameis has a broken back. Oh my God. If you haven't seen that clip, you should go watch it. It's hilarious. So, I agree with you.
It's a bad game.
It could be
don't watch it.
It'd be a very bad game.
See it on the red zone.
Yeah, just throw a red zone on. That's what I typically do anyway. All right, cool. On to the next game. Unless, Ben, did you have anything on that game or no?
No, I'm good. I honestly, I just don't bet NFL until I see how my college slate does. So it's I don't even dive into them as much as I should.
Well, you should have been diving pretty deep if you're going 80%, right?
But not in NFL. It's only college.
Yeah. Well, all right. Detroit Lions at Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins not playing in primetime, so he's going to be all right. Dan Campbell is going to drink at least 3 Trentas of coffee to get ready for this game. Detroit looks good, man. They are running the ball extremely efficiently. They don't look like a bad team this year. Jared Goff has thrown 6 touchdowns to 1 interception. And I think Kirk Cousins threw 6 interceptions in just 1 game last week. So I'm going to go with Detroit. I'm going to go with the dog. Give me money line. I just think that the Vikings are not as good as we think they are. And I think Detroit's got some momentum. And I just want to live a little wild and crazy. This is my wild and crazy bet of the week. So Detroit money line. Are we riding with Dan Campbell?
He's awesome.
I like it more than the Vikings. The Vikings were so tragically bad on Monday. And granted, the Eagles might just be good, but it's going to be more running game. They made no adjustments during that game, which was troubling. Like defensively, they were just like, yeah, this is fine, and just can continue to get torched. So Eagles run the ball. If the Lions can run the ball, Goff has actually looked to, as your point, like he's found Amon-Ra St. Brown, and like they have been cooking. So yeah, I mean, I think the Lions are dangerous, and if you don't feel real comfortable with it, I mean, you get 6, and if you just think they can hang around, I like that.
Yep. Perfect. Next game
should be a good automatic rushing over though. That was the only thing that hit for me that game.
That's true. You typically do get Kirk Cousins rushing overs. I feel like you hit on those quite a bit. So
he had like 13 yards on 2 carries.
Bro,
awesome.
He was cooking, bro. He was trying to be like Lamar out there. Cool. We got Kansas City at the Colts. The spread is set at 5.5, over at 5 or 50.5. That seems really low. That spread, because I think the Colts are pretty bad.
What do they know that we don't? Like that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. It's so low.
Man is actually left-handed.
The whole AFC South is terrible. Like
so bad. His whole career.
Like the Titans got just dog walked the other night. The Colts tied with the Texans.
Remember what division you guys represent before you get too crazy on this division.
I mean, you're looking at an AFC West against AFC South, and the spread is set at 5.5. I agree with you, Ben. Like, what the hell does Vegas know that we don't? But I would definitely be hitting that spread for the Chiefs, -5.5 at -110. That's where I would go with this.
Same. Colts are awful.
Colts are bad. Matt Ryan looks so cooked. So perfect. You got anything, Ben?
They must be time traveling. They know something. I'm scared of the line now.
Yeah, that is pretty scary. All right. Vegas Raiders at Tennessee Titans. Like I just said, Titans got dog walked the other night by the Bills. They looked awful. Tannehill did not look good. King Henry looks average, which is crazy. I think they really, really miss A.J. Brown quite a bit. They have the spread set at 2.5 for the Raiders, and the over/under set at 45.5. I'm going to just hit the spread for the Raiders. I know the Raiders haven't looked incredibly great, right? They are 0-2. They lost to the Cardinals. Your Chargers destroyed them, John. But I just think they're a much more talented team than the Titans. I think Derek Carr has a bounce-back week. Devontae Adams gets a couple tutties. And I just don't think the Titans have the guys to get the job done. So you guys have any thoughts on this game?
I don't like the Titans. I mean, I just don't like the Titans. This is like kind of a stay away one where like I think the Titans are feisty. We kind of talked about, what kind of coach Vrabel is. I really got that one out nice. And Vrabel, like I have gravel in my mouth. But that's just like a stay away. Like I'm not impressed with either team. I don't really get what the Raiders are doing. Like it doesn't make sense. They should be able to at least score points.
Yep.
So they're confusing, and I'm just like all the way out on this.
Yep. Ben, you got anything?
Vrabel probably makes these guys this is like the do it for your pride game. The Titans for no reason win.
Okay.
That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, Eagles at Commanders. They got the spread set at 6.5 for the Eagles, over under 47.5. I don't know where to go with this. The Eagles look really, really good. But Carson Wentz is playing his old team for the first time this season. He hasn't looked that bad this year. I think he looks better than Matt Ryan, which is hilarious for the Colts. 6.5 is kind of a weird number, but I could definitely see the Eagles winning by more than a touchdown. So I guess if I was going to touch anything, I would go with the spread here. Is that what you guys are thinking?
The Commanders have good players.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles,
good receiving core.
Are they that good, or are the Vikings that bad?
I don't know.
I know nothing, Jon Snow. Like, that's where I'm at on this.
Week 2 problems.
Well, it's always scary too. Like these division games, you talked about it.
This
like
early?
the Browns.
Yeah.
Division games just get close. Like they just get close. So it's like, if the Eagles just squeak this out and they just like win because they're better, but like that's all they do is win, and they win by 3 or 4, like that wouldn't surprise me either. So, but Wentz looks like, I don't know, he looks like NBA, like good player, bad team. Like he's putting up stats, but like they still feel empty.
Yeah. Eagles look really good, man. Like they look like the NFC version of the Bills. Like they're whomping on people right now.
It makes you wonder what Lamar Jackson would be like if he had wide receivers.
Yeah, weird. Hey, I will say Rashad Bateman, nice little like 70-yard slant touchdown. So that was dope.
Yeah, that was nice. But even Tebow did that once.
Yeah, Duvernay's look good. Let's not talk a bunch of shit about the Ravens. We've moved on. All right, I don't have the mental capacity for this right now. Anyway, the Texans at the Bears, the Lovie Smith Bowl of America. Spread is at -2.5 for the Bears. Over under set at 40. How much do you guys believe in Davis Mills?
Enough to take Texans money line dogs.
I don't know, man. Bears are pretty bad. They got their quarterback in the media sessions talking kind of low-key shit about the fans, that they shouldn't care as much about the team because they're not in there grinding. Like, not a good look, man. You don't see Davis Mills talking all that trash.
Yeah,
I think it's concerning the Bears throw the ball 10 times a game.
Yes.
That seems weird for the modern era.
Yeah.
A little bit concerning. So, yeah, Texans hung around with the Broncos. I'm not sure they're good either. God, these teams are so – as we do this, it's just like, why do I watch the NFL?
There's truly like 6 good teams. It's
and I'll just be plugging it in. I'll be hooked the whole time. But
oh, yeah.
Just again, we're just shit posting quarterbacks. That's what I'm here for. And both of these quarterbacks suck.
Wifey's got a hair appointment on Sunday, so your boy's just going to be freaking plugged in all Sunday. It's going to be great.
I won't miss any of it, but it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, I'm just going to have Red Zone on. And for some of these games, I probably won't see some of these teams. So, that's fine. All right, next game, near and dear to Mr. John Henningsen, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the epic main of our wonderful quarterback down in Jacksonville going up against the Los Angeles Chargers in LA. This is going to be the battle of which fans are worse. No offense, John. I just feel like neither one of these teams have a lot of fans besides John. Spread set at -7. Over under set at 47.5. Chargers are favorites. I think it is safe to say we're riding with the Chargers, right?
I know I am. I like it looks like Keenan Allen's trending towards being back. He was the missing piece in this offense. It looks like Herbert's going to go. He's going to be banged up. I'm sure they're going to work hard to protect him. So that could scare you away from the points. But ultimately, I do like the Chargers to win. And then it just becomes – and this will be one where this is like – I'm not saying the Chargers actually get a home game this week because they essentially play 17 road games a year. But Jacksonville, as you mentioned, doesn't really travel well. Should be really quiet, really sleepy. Chargers roll.
Now, does Austin Eckler get over 40 yards rushing? That's the question.
They'd have to give him the ball. I don't know. They're like mixing in these other guys in the run game. They're only throwing it to him in like the short passing game. So he's not even getting a lot of touches. I'd like to see him get that run game going. You think in an attempt to protect Herbert, that would be kind of step 1A this week. But, if you just want to break it down real simple, this is kind of like East Coast surfer quarterback versus West Coast surfer quarterback. And I'm just a West Coast surfer quarterback kind of guy.
Nice. Okay. Ben, any thoughts?
No, the Chargers should win. They should cover. But I can't bet NFL. I fucking lose every time I do it. So
It's all right. Trevor's going to come in there and just light the world on fire. Watch.
last week, damn it.
I'll die.
That's John's worst nightmare. All right. We got Packers at Bucks. Could be a good game, right? The spread is dangerously low at -1. So don't bet the spread. That's a weird one. Over under 41.5. And the Bucks are favored. I don't know where to go this game, guys. The Packers are kind of all over the place. Their receivers kind of suck. But then the Buccaneers have no offensive line. And Brady's going through a nasty divorce and looks like he's anorexic. So I'm not sure really where to go with this one. Do you guys have any ideas?
Alan Lizard's going on a late entry on the midweek injury report. Packers didn't look good week 1. Great. I mean, I'd want to say the Bucks, but yeah. But he always.
This is just
so you can't.
This used to be like a super exciting matchup, and now it's just like two like guys getting weirder as they get older, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is just a couple of weird guys.
Did you see the ayahuasca celebration though?
Yeah, that was great.
That was awesome.
That was sick.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Once Twitter explained it to me, I was like, "Oh, that was awesome,
dude." This is really like the game of just two strange ass quarterbacks, though, right? Like objectively great, but man, both of these guys are going through like midlife crises where freaking Aaron Rodgers is dating a witch, getting a weird tattoo and doing ayahuasca. And then Tom Brady's kind of doing the opposite. He's getting plastic surgery. He looks like he's anorexic and he's getting divorced. So, wow.
Yeah, these guys should be collecting checks from the state, like Brett Favre by now. You know what I mean? Like just taking that free money when it shows up. Don't ask any questions, fellas.
Yeah,
the money's good.
Make sure you don't throw that into a text message.
Has Brady been drinking enough water? I'm a little worried about.
Yeah,
I
think that's all he's doing. I think that's it. I think he's made of water, 100%.
The TB12 method
is really, if you're all water.
The TB12 method is really working, guys. He's lost a lot of weight. Let's be happy for him, okay?
He gained all that hydration, but lost his wife. Was it worth it? Probably not.
I pick no one. This is like another under. I'm like, these are two good quarterbacks. I'm still like, yeah, probably under again. Yeah. Just bet the entire NFL slate under. Everybody's terrible.
I don't like this game at all. Like it actually gives me anxiety. So, all right. The Falcons at the Seahawks. Probably the two best teams in the NFL meeting up on this Sunday, 1:25 p.m. This is also a weird spread, 1.5. With an over under 42. I'm going to hit the under so hard on this game. 42 is way too many points for these two teams. I do not believe in Geno versus Marcus Mariota. Like if this was college, we'd be betting the over so large. But in NFL, these two guys stink. So, I'm just going to bet the under so hard on this game.
They should try throwing to Kyle Pitts. That might be a good idea.
That might be cool. Yeah.
He's still on the roster, right?
Yeah.
3 targets, I think, or 3 catches.
Oh.
6th overall pick.
I don't understand.
Yeah, don't get him the ball. Understand. He's only like 6'5", 240 pounds, and runs like a 4.40. Don't get him the ball.
It's so fun.
Oh, they must still have Ridley and Julio Jones. That's why they don't throw to Pitts.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yep. It's so funny to me too that there was like so much preseason love for Kyle Pitts as a fantasy guy. And like, I'm not taking away from Pitts. This has nothing to do with his talent. He's incredibly talented, but like he had 1 touchdown last year in 16 games. And it wasn't because of him. It's because like the Falcons just are not good. And I thought it was objectively hilarious that people were taking Kyle Pitts like within the first like 4 rounds because they thought he was like a wide receiver. And now he has 3 targets in 2 weeks. So, yep, pretty hilarious. I feel bad for the guy.
If there's ever an open spot in your fantasy league, I'll gladly hop in that.
Yeah, for sure.
Bunch of jabronis.
Yeah. Next game, Rams at Cardinals. Cardinals came all the way back and beat the Raiders in Vegas. Kyler was running around like a kid running away from his parents. I cannot unsee that ever since I've heard that. Like that is exactly how he runs. And especially now that I have a 2.5-year-old that will literally take my phone and run away from me. That's exactly how Kyler Murray runs, just like my daughter Madeline. So the spread is at 3.5, over under 48.5. I think that's a juicy over. I think both these teams can score a lot of points. Both teams' defenses are a little shaky, even though the Rams have 2 of the best defensive players in the league. I think some points will be had in this game, and I think the over is the move.
I have
What do
no
you boys
strong
think?
opinions other than Stafford over 1.5 rushing yards.
It's a good bet. John?
Yeah, this feels like find some anytime touchdown scores of your choosing, and otherwise, I mean the Cardinals always kind of play the Rams tough, but like it makes no sense because I still don't believe in the Cardinals. Nothing about what happened last week made any sense. But it's crazy because there was a couple of those, like what hit last week was some of those crazy spreads. Like you could have had some big time dogs that you could have hit on, but I have no idea where they are in the slate. I'm looking at this game and I just feel stupid as I have looking at the rest of them.
Yeah, it's a weird game. I would just go with the points just to be safe because both these teams can score. So, all right. 49ers at Broncos. Let Russ cook. Is he going to cook this week, John? Is that what we're thinking?
I think he's going to score 16 points like he did in the other 2 games. So if that's cooking, sure. I like that meme out there of him with like 2 hot dogs and a bowl of cereal. That is like letting Russ cook. They're booing. They're counting the clock. The Broncos fans are already on Hackett's ass. So I like the Niners in this game. Like, just give me the Niners, the best version of it. I'm pretty sure the Broncos are in trouble. And I think the Niners got a lot better getting Jimmy G back, which is not something I thought I'd ever say.
Yeah.
But he came back and I was like, all right, this offense makes sense again.
Yeah.
This is what I'm used to seeing. And like we know the Niners are competent. So this is a game I actually do feel good about. Give me the Niners, who are favored in Denver.
So strange. So weird. Who would have thought at the beginning of the season? But, dude, the Broncos have not looked good.
Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, we have a new immobile quarterback back on the starting roster. Jimmy G is notoriously a very good bet for immobile rushing quarterbacks. He's like 4.5. I was very excited for the injury for Trey Lance because I got him right as I lost Joe Burrow. I lose one son, gain another. I'll take Jimmy G rushing over on this one, and I'm very excited about it. Very, very excited.
I'm so happy.
2-0 betting against the Broncos. Make it 3-0.
Go.
They're trash.
Yeah, let's go. All right, last game of the week, and then we can wrap it up. Cowboys at Giants. Spread is at 1. Over under of 39. Both these teams are weird, right? The Cowboys beat the Bengals last week with Cooper Rush. The Giants actually look halfway good. Saquon is looking like how he looked at Penn State. I'm going to take the Giants strictly because Saquon looks good and Brian Daboll has this team actually looking like they're motivated. And I just think the Cowboys had a fluky week, and I think they're going to suck. So I'm just going to go. I mean, any way you split this, there's not a whole lot of money in it. So we'll just go Giants money line. What are you guys going with?
I start looking at the NFC East around this point and being like, well, the team that wins is going to be like 10-7 at best, and everybody else is going to be like 7-6. So the Giants need to lose in division at some point. Take the boys. Take the boys on this one.
Wow. Okay. John?
I'm with you, Dugan. I lean towards the Giants on this one. Like Cooper Rush doing it once, fine. Doing it twice, I don't know.
Yeah. Let it be known
he does it
that
twice.
Ben Crownover is not a real Penn State fan because he didn't go with Saquon Barkley. He went with the Cowboys. So
My
let it be
brother-in-law is
known.
a Giants fan. I'm not and he's been miserable for a long time rooting for them. I feel like I've never seen him be happy as like a Giants fan. I have a hard time with it.
Yeah, and you don't want to see him happy.
No, I love my brother-in-law. He's a good dude, but to me, I'm just like, he's been miserable watching them for a reason. They're gonna come back to earth. They're not good. Maybe they're good for being 2-0. I mean, Cooper Rush. This is like we're about to watch a guy do that thing where he plays well enough for like a small period of time that he becomes a backup for the next 15 years. I think that's what's about to happen with Cooper Rush.
Chase Daniel potential.
Yes.
Yeah, you're smelling it out.
I was going to say John knows all about this.
Big clipboard energy. This guy's got big clipboard energy.
Yeah, he's going to get like career earnings $80 million, and he's started 10 games. Like we're about to watch the birth of it.
Probably gets a guaranteed contract too.
Well, he's a running back, so he deserves it.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Fully guaranteed. Cooper Rush, just on the name alone.
Ben, why don't you just say it's because he's white?
That's not what I'm saying.
You got so uncomfortable right now.
No.
We know that's not what you're saying. We're just pulling your leg. All right, that is the full slate of football games this weekend. So ride with Crownover if you want to go 80%. We're going to list his ticket from last week on Twitter. Ben, do you feel comfortable enough placing your ticket on Twitter this week, like your current slate?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I'd like to rewrite it because I couldn't find my normal size notebook, so I have it on like a fucking toddler's notebook, basically.
You have the note. He has the notepad.
Piece it together. Yeah, do it like a ransom note. Just cut it out of magazines and stuff and put it in there.
Ben's got that notepad from Blue's Clues.
Well,
it would be great if every week you did it in like like you did one ransom note, one in the Blue's Clues notebook, and so on down the line.
Well, let me do this. I'm gonna rewrite it because I did that thing where like you're writing a sentence on a chalkboard as well, and like you get too close to the end and you start kind of like scribbling. I did that because I ran out of space. So can I please just rewrite it and then send you a picture of this one?
Yeah, and then we're gonna throw it on Twitter. For our audience, please follow us on Twitter, Jump Shots Pod. I will also throw it on the Instagram. Please follow us there as well, Jump Shots from the Goal Line. And I'll even put it on the Facebook, Jump Shots from the Goal Line as well. If you're not following us on social media, what the hell are you doing? All right. Like we got some top tier content on there as well. John is doing the damn thing on Twitter. And our Facebook and Instagram will have a bunch of clips from the show, as well as some fun things every now and then. So please follow us there. But also do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. Please leave us a review. It helps us on the algorithm so much, especially on Apple. If you guys haven't done that, please do it now. Like you're listening to the sweet sounds of our voices. The least you can do is just leave us a review. 5 stars is what we're looking for. So please help us out. And like I said, just share this podcast with whoever you know, whoever likes sports gambling, wants to make some money. Maybe they don't know a whole lot about sports and they want to hit 80% like Ben. All right. Just make sure you're hitting straights. Do not do parlays like me, and then your wife will hate you. But please do whatever you can to help us blow up this podcast. We are so appreciative of everything that you guys have done for us so far. Ben, Henny, you guys have any closing parting words for our audience?
I would just say on the subject of blowing things up, this story, I just have to get it out there. I just have to get it off my chest. Did you see the crazy drunk uncle energy from a 21-year-old female student at Utah who threatened to blow up her on campus if they lost to San Diego State? What?
Hey, Pac-12 after dark, baby.
Exactly. SEC, don't tell me it means more.
Yeah.
All right.
You haven't been to Utah.
You haven't been to Utah. It baby. That's it. That's all I got. I just can't believe that that's even a real story.
Perfect. Ben, you got anything?
No, let's just keep it running, man. Last year it was the K-State Oklahoma game that started my downturn, but I'm getting smart. I'm not betting the spread on that one, so
There you go.
I got a good feeling.
All right. Well, Ben's going to send me his picks. You guys, if you do play Ben's picks, please let us know. Put a funny hashtag, maybe like riding with Crown over, or hashtag not the Appalachian Accelerator, something
Down
like
with
that.
Crown, baby.
Yeah, down with Crown.
Down with
Hashtag down with Crown. Please, if you're going to be betting, bet responsibly, number one, but please tag us and let us know that you use some of his picks. With that said, we will talk to you next week. Enjoy all the football, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.